Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and first of all, apologies for this really weird, crazy lighting setup situation, but today I'm going to be doing my declutter, reshuffle, reorganization of my blush, bronzer and highlight drawer. So I asked you guys on my community page whether you were interested, like I had to do this anyway, it needed to be done. Did you guys want me to film the process and share it with you? And it was a resounding yes, like the biggest percentage one way or another that you guys have ever told me you do or do not want something. So here we are. So before we open the drawer, it is this bad boy here that we are going to be mainly delving into today. So I know I have given you a tour of my top drawer before. This top drawer, if you don't know, if you are new here, is my go-to everyday products, my kind of ones that I want handy in every category. So there's eyebrows, there's not eyebrows in there, just to clear that up. There's eyebrow pencils, there's some little bits of like eyeshadows, singles, things like that. There's my favourite concealer powder, my favourite blushes, my favourite bronzers, my favourite highlights, my favourite everything for every day is in this drawer. And this is like the overspill drawer for cheek products, bronzer, blush, highlight mainly. And it's getting full. It's getting crowded, and once that happens, I start to feel anxious. It gives me anxiety. I don't want to start a whole new drawer. I don't want things coming out my ears. I like to keep a nice and condensed and concise as possible when you have a YouTube beauty channel, that is, my collection. I don't want a huge giant thing of drawers and chests of makeup pouring out my ears. I just want, if it doesn't fit in here, something's got to go. That's how I want my collection to be. So today I'm going to be having a slight declutter. I'm not sure how much stuff I'm going to be getting rid of. Anything really that is super expired or old or just never gets used or that I don't like. And the rest, you know, I do need to keep more than the average person for video purposes, for review, for comparison swatches, things like that. These products can be really useful when trying to show you guys whether you already have something like it. So I don't want to get rid of anything that is useful for video or filming purposes, regardless of whether I actually use it or like it or not, because it has another use in my home at least. But yeah, I've got some organisers from IKEA that I will share with you, and I'm just going to be showing you that drawer. If you guys love this video and really want to see more, then there is going to be a bit of a process because I've emptied a few drawers recently. One had belts in it. One was full of like my wash bags, makeup bags, things like that has now gone to a new home. So there are a couple of like empty drawers that I will be putting my organisers in. So if you love this one, let me know. Thumbs up, comment, let me know if you want to see more of this type of comment. But without if you want to see more of this type of content. But without further ado, let's delve into the drawer. Okay, so here is the drawer in question, the famous blush, highlight and bronzer drawer. You can see at the back there's like some liquid products or just some random other products, a few primers, things like that. And then these are the liquids or creams in here. So the majority of this is, yeah, bronzer, blush, highlight. In fact, I think it's all bronzer, blush, highlight. And there are bronzer, blush and highlights just kind of scattered all over the other drawers because, as you can see, this is full. By the way, this insert is from IKEA. I'll try and link it below for you. I did have to trim the edges of this to get this to fit in my drawer. So that's just something to bear in mind if you don't want to do that. This doesn't fit perfectly without you having to trim the edges off, so just bear that in mind. So these are some of the other kind of overspill products, is these Charlotte Tilbury brush and highlight duos, and then the Jouer, because they don't really fit in here at the moment, they kind of live just in a separate drawer. So I would like to have everything in here. I've also, this is my top drawer currently, and yeah, I definitely feel like it's getting a bit crowded in here, and I did just pick up 3 of the new Vive blushes, which I now want to fit in here. So this is another kind of motivation for doing this clear out, is actually I do want to move some stuff from my top drawer into here as well, and I just want to be able to see everything. I feel like when you've got this much stuff in a drawer, I just open it and I can't really see what I've got. So I feel like if we had about half the amount in here, I would use a lot more, if that makes sense. So I've got this little basket here that I am going to be putting in anything that I choose to get rid of. But yeah, this isn't all of my collection. As I said, my favourites are in my top drawer, and then any palettes, blush, highlight, duos palettes, things like Natasha Denona palettes, NARS palettes, Hourglass palettes, they are all in my top drawer or in my holders that live on the top of my vanity. So let's start off with these ABH trios. I have two of them, and they are the Peachy Love, which is the most well loved, as you can see, and the Berry Adore. I don't really use Berry Adore as much, and when I do, I tend to just really use this shade, but I do really like Peachy Love, and neither of these have kind of got the use that they should get, because they are definitely some of those that get just lost in here. So I want to keep those. I want to use those more. Also, the same goes for my Patrick Tar blushes. So these are in his original blushes, not the cream powder duos. This is She's Adorable and She's Seductive. I love both of these, and again, they kind of got lost because they don't fit in my top drawer and they're just lost in here. So I definitely want to use these more, and I want to use his duos more as well. So those are kind of some of the ones that I want to get more use out of once this is kind of decluttered a bit. My NARS blushes, you know I love them. This is Sin, which is one that I do like for a night out actually, but I don't use much day to day. And of course Madly, two very much loved blushes and definitely keepers. Now this Clinique blush, I don't use it a whole lot. This is the shade Ginger Pop. I don't use it a whole lot, but I do like it. So I will keep it just because it's useful for comparison purposes and for formula purposes. And then these two MAC Glow Play blushes. So this is the shade That's Peachy, and then this is the shade Groovy. I think there was another one somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe I'm forgetting something. But yeah, I haven't used these much. Again, blushes that I want to kind of play with a bit more. I didn't love the formula when I first initially tried these, but I feel like they deserve a bit more of a try. These are the MAC Extra Dimension blushes, and I feel like I need to get rid of all of them, to be honest, because I just never use these. They are very, very glittery and just not really like my type of thing these days at all. Like you can see, they're almost more like colourful highlights. These two peachy ones are kind of my favourite ones. This is Fairly Precious and Just a Pinch, but the other two I don't think I went nuts for these when they first came out, but these days not so much. I'm going to kind of keep those two in there for now and maybe give them another try, but these two I'm definitely going to get back to MAC. So this is For My Sweet, and this one is hard to get. I just don't use like this shimmery of a blush anymore. Now this is my MAC Jade Jagger blush. If you guys follow Mel, my friend Mel Thompson, I gifted one of these to her because they only came out in the UK. I love this blush. I've used it a fair amount. I don't use it on camera because it is like long gone now, but I do really like that one, so that's a keeper. Naturally Flawless. This is again another one of these mineralized blushes from MAC, but these are matte blushes, and this is definitely one that I really loved when I first got it, and it just doesn't get used because it just gets lost in here and I just forget that I have it. So I'm definitely going to keep that one. Warm Soul, got to keep that one. It's useful for comparisons, things like that. Like Me, Love Me, again, one that I never use, but I really do like. So again, keeping that one. Sweet Enough, another one that just does not get used because I forget that it's there. Ray Beam, I'm not a fan of this one. It's much too light for me. I mean, you can see like it's like lighter than my skin colour. So that one is going to get recycled in a back to MAC. I mean, already this is looking much nicer because I can actually get that row back in there and it's looking nice and neat, and I can actually put some more of my NARS blushes in the front there, and that's already way better. This is progress, people. Let's just have a little delve. I wasn't really thinking I would have much of a look in here today, but oh, why is it wet? Why is it wet? Oh my god, look at that. What is doing that? Something is leaking. I think we found the culprit, and it's this NARS liquid blush in the shade Luster, and this is definitely one to go. It's probably well past its use by date, and I wasn't a big fan in the first place. So my Charlotte Tilbury, this is the like a blush wand in Pink Gasm. I do like that as far as creams go. And her liquid highlight, I also like that. That's definitely going to stay. One of her liquid contours, definitely going to stay. I love all those products. I don't really ever use this ABH one, but again, it might be useful for comparisons and things like that when we're talking liquid highlights. Same with this MAC Strobe Face Glaze. Don't use it a lot, but it can be useful for videos. And then this is my Vanish Champagne Flash Stick, highlight stick. So I do actually use this and have got a fair amount of use out of this. So yeah, that's gonna all go back in there. But we've got all of that oil off. Oh dear, good job I opened it. My MAC contour stick, one of my favourite sticks to contour with. And then in here, this is like tanning drops for your face. I went through a phase of using this to try and get my face to match my body in summer when I used to care about that, but I just really don't anymore. So they sit in there like not really being used, but you never know, maybe I might want to use them again. And then this is my Double Wear hydrating primer. I usually only use this like in summer because it has SPF 45 and sometimes it's a good thing to take on holiday. And then that's my NARS Glow Booster, which I do like and do plan to use a bit more. The Laura Mercier primer, that should really be in a different drawer, but I need to use this. I haven't tried this really yet. I've used it once, I think. But yeah, I'd need to give that a bit more of a try. I think maybe this might actually end up going somewhere else and then I can put all of these palettes. So these are my Jouer Blush Duos and my Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Highlight palettes, and they would fit nicely in there. Oh, I forgot about these ABH ones. These can go back in at the back, and this already just looks a bit more spacious and organized, doesn't it? So this next one, now this ABH highlight, the new iced out highlight, I don't like at all. I can't even open it because it is a new highlight. It is useful for comparison swatches, things like that. So I'm going to keep that one for now. This Laura Mercier highlight I've never even used. It was actually gifted to me in PR and I just haven't tried it yet. I kind of had a swatch of it and haven't tried it yet. Again, it's just been sitting here lost. The Stila Heaven's Hue, is this the shade Kitten? This has got to go. I mean, it's a bit gross at this point. It's very old and I just never use it anymore. But you know, it had its moment, but that is going in the bin. MAC's Whisper of Guilt, again, this is like a well-used one from like holiday collection quite a while ago. You can see how well used that is, and again one that is always useful for comparison swatches because most people have it or at least know what it is like. The Balm Mary Lou, I mean, Christ knows how old this is. It's got a good old dent in there, you know. This was it back in the day, but yeah, I don't ever use this anymore, so that can go. This is one of my Patrick Tar blush duos. The other one is in my top drawer. This is the shade Do We Know Her, so it's the peachy one. I still really like these and want to use them more. Again, they're another one in that motivation for me clearing this out because I just forget that they're in there. My Charlotte Tilbury blush, this must be Ecstasy, I'm guessing. No, this is the Climax, so this must be Ecstasy. I do like these. Again, they're kind of products that get lost in this drawer that I forget about. My favourite Walk of No Shame is in my top drawer, but these two are both nice. Ecstasy is very, very subtle on me. It's nice to remember that I have them, and with the drawer a bit more cleaned out, I can maybe get a bit more use out of those. ABH Amrezy, you know, an absolute classic, a banger. Everybody begs for it to come back all of the time, but so far no good. And again, a very good one for swatch comparisons, so definitely going to keep that one. Same thing goes for the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Star. I like it. I don't use it a lot. It's not one of my favourites, but it's very good for comparisons. And I do like it when I'm looking for a more blingy highlight in summer. This is a good one. Obviously Chanel Elegance is going to be staying. This Dior highlight palette, I never use this. I liked it at the time. It's, you know, it had a little moment for me, but I've definitely moved on for like kind of a different preference when it comes to highlight. I'm going to keep hold of it for now because again, for comparison purposes and things like that for videos, it is useful, but I'm going to move out of here because I just don't ever use it. This is definitely going. This is the Armani powder. I just never liked this. I tried to use it. I tried to enjoy it and see what everyone liked about it, but it's just not for me. So it's going in the bin. This is a super old champagne pop. Like most people's, mine fell out of the pan and I had to pan it using some alcohol, so it now looks an utter mess. I never use this. It's not really my kind of highlight. Again, it is useful for comparison swatches, so I'll keep it for now, but it's it's going to go sooner or later. Natasha Denona All Over Glow. This is the shade 1, light, and then there's Super Glow in the shade 2, like medium, I think it is. Two that I loved and were like favourites for a long time, but have kind of fallen back a little bit, but I do still use both of them and like them. I wouldn't say they were loves anymore. And then I think this is like a mini opal, which is one that I really do like, and I do occasionally use like nights out, things like that. I think this drawer is mainly bronzers. This is an absolute oldie but a goodie. So the Too Faced Sweethearts bronzer. As you can see, this is very, very well used and loved. It's super old now, and I've definitely kind of moved on to different things. I hate this packaging, but I loved this bronzer for a long time, but it is definitely very old and doesn't really get used anymore, so that's going to go. My Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel, it's like literally on its last legs. I love this. This is the old formula. It is old and gross, but I can't get rid of it because it is gone forever now. So I will use this. I will use it up until it's gone, but it is a sad, sad day. This Morphe Tantor, definitely gonna go. You know, it's quite old, it's a bit hard panned. I used it a few times and then that was kind of it. These MAC compacts, so these are both, are they bronzers? Sunsoaked Strip and Canyon Dreaming. I love these packages. The bronzers inside are quite nice, not my favourites, don't love them, but they are okay. They're kind of useful whenever I do like MAC videos to compare shades and things like that, but yeah, so maybe I'll hang on to them for now. I wouldn't really say I use them often, but they can be useful for like MAC videos. Same thing goes for this is Totally Tauteless, and this is probably my favourite MAC bronzer actually. It's a really nice shade. You can see it's got that reddy tone that I like, so that one can stay for now. This one's definitely going to go. This is a limited edition from Guerlain. Again, you can see it's got a lot of use. It's a Terra India. But yeah, it's quite hard panned now. It's also a lot warmer than I generally like my bronzers these days, so that can go. Next up, MAC's Give Me Sun. I rarely use this. Sometimes in the summer, I mean, you can see it's pretty flattened off there. It's got a lot of use. It's very useful for comparisons because it is, again, one that everybody knows. Huda Beauty Tantor. If you watch my review, I just didn't get on well with this. I don't really like this at all. I mean, it's a cream contour product, but I mean, it's just so messy, and yeah, I didn't love it, so that can go. NARS's Laguna. So I'm not a fan of this one. It's just a bit too light for me. It doesn't really work on my skin tone. It's not quite the right tone for my skin, but a very good one for comparisons because, again, lots of people have it and lots of people at least are familiar with it, so that one can stay. This Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil, this definitely had a moment in my collection. I loved it. I mean, you can see it's a big old hole in there, but yeah, I mean, it's very well used. It's very hard panned, and it's just not really my thing anymore, so that one can go. Same thing really goes for Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. I mean, that is very close to pan in there. I really loved this one for a long time. I think it's a great bronzer. Pretty hard pan now, pretty old and gross, so it's gonna go. And then my two ABH bronzers. So these were like my favourite bronzers for a long time. This is the shade Saddle, and so this one must be Rich Amber. They were my fave bronzers until the Charlotte Tilbury and Gucci came along. I'll definitely keep these. I definitely still use these, and very useful for comparisons. So there you have it, and that already gives me space for my Patrick Ta blushes at the front. And it also means that I can take some of these out of here and add them into that middle drawer. We might as well do that now while you guys are here. I'm definitely going to move this down into that drawer. This is the Chantecaille Cheek Duo in Coral. Has the blush and the highlight. It's definitely not going into that drawer like to die. It's just I don't reach for like every day, so I'm going to move it out of my top drawer. Same thing goes for the YSL highlight powder. Again, I really love this. This is the All Over Radiant Glow, but it's not one that I reach for like every day, so that can move a drawer down. So these can go nicely in that little gap that we made there. I found another NARS blush. This is Orgasm. I've literally never touched this because I know I don't like it, but it is very, very helpful when it comes to blush swatches and things like that, because obviously it is so well known. And I found my other Patrick Tar blush, which can now live with its little friend in there, because everything I like, you know, I like things to stay with their buddies. So is there anything else I can move out of this top drawer? Not really. So with that, I've pretty much made enough space for my Vive blushes to go in my top drawer while I figure out whether they're going to be staying long term. So with that, I'm also going to move my Fenty Afternoon Snack / Mo Honey highlight duo, and I'm going to put that a drawer down, which is sad because that was a favourite for a long time, but that's going to give me space now to put my Vive blushes in here in place of what I've just depotted. Now that is my new top drawer, and I'm going to move my Fenty down to there, and there you have it, my new organised drawer. I mean, so this is how much we're getting rid of. 13 products, which is not bad just for that one drawer. I will take that. That is definitely a start. My drawer's definitely like allowing me to see what's in there a lot better. So yeah, I'm still gonna kind of and ahhing on a couple of these MAC blushes that I'm gonna try a bit more over the next couple of weeks and decide whether they stay or go, because that would be even nice if I could turn these around the same way as these compacts and actually see a lot clearer what I've got. But for now, I think that's a pretty good start. So thank you for joining me today and helping me organize this drawer. If you like this type of content, then please thumbs up and comment down below, and I'll know whether you guys want to see it more in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, bye 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 bye.